What's up guys, it's your boy War, coming back here with another certified banger. Today's story is a time a man tried to flirt with me on the bus. Alright, let's get into it. The story took place back in 2019. I was riding home on the bus, and the bus was completely empty. The bus stops at another bus stop. A passenger gets on, and it's an old man. This old man decides, out of everywhere he wanted to sit beside me on a completely empty bus. I was pretty annoyed that he tried to sit beside me. It didn't really bother me too much. I had my music in, I was minding my own business, and I let him sit beside me. Just before I continue, if somebody has AirPods in or somebody has earbuds in and you want to ask them a question, please don't do that. Please don't be that guy who wants to go up to people who have music in and ask them a question when there's plenty of other people around that don't have earbuds in. I just find that annoying. Mini rant, let's get back into it. At the corner of my eye, I see him staring at me and I see his mouth moving. So I take my earbuds out and I'm like, were you talking to me? I didn't hear a single thing you said, man. Sorry about that. And he's like, oh, no problem. We started having a normal conversation. It wasn't anything too important. All of a sudden he's like, do you play football? You're a big boy. And I'm like, no, I didn't play football. And he's like, you're a big boy. Like, you would be great on the football team. And he's comparing me to his nephews that he has, who are also big boys that play on the football team. And he's just kind of complimenting me about my size. And he's like, you have some big legs. And I didn't really say anything. I just went quiet. He kept trying to ask me other stuff. I wouldn't really give him an answer. I didn't care to answer his question. So after multiple pauses of silence, he asked me randomly, he's like, well, where do you live? And I said, oh, I live in this area. And he's like, oh, well, what street do you live on? And I didn't answer that question. I'm like, well, where do you live? This guy literally told me exactly where he lived. The guy kept talking to me and trying to ask me personal questions, and I would just go silent or I wouldn't have anything to say. To avoid the awkward silence, I would just put my music back in and continue listening to music. After I put my earbuds back in, I noticed that the guy's legs were shaking, and I noticed that his hands were by his private area, and the guy was just going wild with the leg shaking. I got up and felt a little uncomfortable that the dude was practically touching himself while just staring at me, and I went to the back of the bus, and this dude did not stop shaking his leg, and I'm pretty sure he stuck his hand down his pants to touch himself. I don't know what this guy was doing, but he kept staring back at me while shaking his leg and wiling out. I pulled the cord for the bus to stop because it was my stop. The guy gets up as well, and I'm standing near the door, and the guy literally is like right beside me. He's like really close to me while I'm standing by the door. And keep in mind, it's a completely empty bus. He could have stood anywhere else, but no, he got up when I got up, and he literally just stood there and was just breathing down my neck. I moved away and he kept trying to like come close to me, and the door opened. I got off the bus and I looked back at him, and this guy was just standing there staring at me. And then when the bus started to drive, he just stared at me out the window. Overall, it was a really weird experience. I've never had an older guy try to come on to me and try to flirt with me and try to quote unquote groom me before, but he really did try to make me comfortable, and he really did try to manipulate me somehow, because the guy was trying to get me to come back to his apartment. That was his end goal. He kept asking me all these weird questions because he was lonely and he appreciated talking to me on the bus. But anyways, that's gonna do it for today's video. If you did enjoy this one, please make sure to smash that like button, comment if you ever had a weird experience on the bus, and make sure to press that notification bell and subscribe so you don't miss my future uploads.